Hello all you wonderful, beautiful, and craptastic people, CraptasticJack here, and today, well not today, recently, the system requirements for the crew have been announced, and today we will be going over them and comparing them to my PC specs. So yes, without further interruptions, let us begin. So recently Ivory Tower has released the official system specs for the crew. Now let's begin with the minimum system requirements. Now these are the system specs you need to have a good experience with the crew, or maybe just enough to run the game. You will need to be running at least Windows 7 with System Pack 1 installed, and your OS needs to be a 64-bit system for the game to run at all. Your CPU needs to be at least an Intel Core 2 quad-core Q9 300 or AMD Athlon 2X4 620. You need at least 4 GB of RAM, and your GPU needs to have at least an NVIDIA GTX 260 or an AMD Radeon HD 4087 with 520 megabytes of VRAM. I apologize. Now let's move on to the recommended specs. Now for the recommended specs, you need to have at least Windows 8 or 8.1. Your CPU will have to need at least an Intel Core i5 750 or an AMD Phenom 2X4 940, and you will need at least 8 GB of RAM for the game to run on recommended settings. Your GPU will also need to be a GTX 580 or AMD Radeon 6070 with 1024 megabytes of VRAM installed on your graphics card. And for optimal experience, I'm pretty sure for optimal experience you will need, this will be what you need to run the game at 60 FPS, because on PC the game will be able to run at 60 FPS. I made a video about that recently as I scroll down. But now for optimal, you will need Windows 8 or 8.1, an Intel Core i7 2600K or AMD FX 81550 CPU. I'm not good with saying like words, sounded like 8,000s, blah blah blah. 8 GB of RAM, and either an NVIDIA GTX 670 or a AMD Radeon 7870 with 2,400 I can't say stuff today. 2048 VRAM GPU or better. Now these specs I'm going to say now. I'm going to compare my specs to the game's recommended specs to see where I stand. Now during the beta I was able to run the game on high with shadows and a few other graphical options set to medium, so I'm probably going to have to customize it kind of a little. Now I have a Windows 8.1 64-bit OS. I have an Intel i5 quad-core 444,000S clocked at 2.80 gigahertz, and I have 8 GB of DDR3 RAM, and I have an NVIDIA GT640 GPU. Now my GPU isn't too great, but it does beat out the recommended GPU, and I'm pretty sure my CPU is better than the recommended one, so I should be able to get 30 FPS on high and 60 FPS on medium settings. So expect to vote both types of videos when the crew comes out, both 60 and 30 FPS videos. Anyway guys, that's all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Alright, don't forget to rate, comment, favorite, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a good one.